Okay. Good evening, and thank you for bearing with us, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first live broadcast of Justin's Galactic Science Fiction and Entertainment Talk Show. And today we're going to talk. Yeah, and today we are going to talk about the latest Star Wars movie, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And I've got three hardcore Star Wars fans, or fanboys, as we like to refer to them as. And we're going to talk a little bit about the movie. I am going to give you one spoiler warning, though, already. So anyone here who does not want to hear any potential spoilers or who hasn't seen the movie yet, maybe you should just bail now. Or if you're going to watch a recording of this later, stop now. Because, yeah. So that being the case, I'm going to just introduce myself briefly. My name is Justin O'Donnell. I'm a professional speaker. And I have a speaking and research business, Blue Chip Consulting Services, and I've been a hardcore sci-fi fan since age 4 when my father took me to see the original Star Wars at the Seaway Mall Cinemas in Welland. So, and I've been warped ever since. And we'll just go around here. Tony, why don't you just introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Tony Quirk. I am a regional counselor here in the region of Niagara and a super Star Wars geek. I'm happy to go with the term geek, uber geek even. I saw Star Wars when I was 7 at the Tivoli Theater in Hamilton, which at the time was the one with the really good speakers. So when the Empire ship came over in Star Wars, the whole theater shook because it was the first one to have the real surround sound. And then managed to then go see Star Wars about 16 times when it was playing at the Roxy Theater in Grimsby, which is the only theater in town. And once a movie came and it was still going, you just played it forever and a day. So that was my introduction to Star Wars. Been a huge fan ever since. I was super excited about the prequels when they were announced, and then somewhat disappointed when I saw them. But I have to say, The Force Awakens has reawakened my faith in the Star Wars brand.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Let's go on to Jim.
Hi, this is Jim Pudgiamsis. I'm from Toronto, Ontario. The movie Star Wars I saw years ago at a theater called the Uptown is no longer there. It's torn down. There's a big condo there now. Big fan of the original series. Again, when the other 3 movies came out, I wasn't totally excited about them, to tell you the truth. But The Force Awakens really I enjoyed it. I went to go see with about 7 friends on December the 18th, and we had lots of fun. I look forward to sharing a little bit about the experience that we had, because we had a little too much fun in the fourth row. Watched it in 3D too, so that's me. And also, I also got into the world of acting in 2014. I did 6 films in 7 months, so I've been on the other side of the camera and have more appreciation for actors now. So, and I'm a speaker, author, and trainer in Toronto. So, Lauren, you're next.
Okay. My name is Lauren McMillan. I've always liked science fiction, Star Wars. This is the first Star Wars that I've actually seen in the theater, and I really enjoyed watching it. When the second trilogy came out, I looked forward to that, but I didn't get to see the theater, and I don't really care that I missed it in the theater at this point now, from what I've seen. But when I saw The Force Awakens, I was glad I went, for sure.
Okay, and Lauren, just to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, you're an up-and-coming author, and you've got a new work out, don't you?
Yeah, self-publishing on Lulu.com, and they're just ebooks. Paper copies are just too expensive to do when you're doing self-publishing on a limited budget. And I have my website, deadlyquill.com, and put out a first edition of a newsletter today. Called the Deadly Quill Express. So anybody can sign up if they want. Get all kinds of news and free stuff, lots of free stuff.
Okay, yeah. If you could just type in your website there so everyone can see it, and that'd be great.
Where do I type it in?
On the bottom right, there's a message area.
Oh, send message?
Yep.
Yeah, put it in there.
Okay. Well, let's get started. While Lauren's doing that, let's get started here. First question I got. The movie changed production or changed ownership. Specifically, went from control of George Lucas to Disney. Do you think? Let's start off with Lauren. Do you think this was a good move, a bad move, or are you kind of indifferent towards it? What are your thoughts in general?
Well, at first, honestly, I thought, oh, Disney's going to butcher it. Honestly, that's what I thought. Then they got J.J. Abrams in there, and honestly, from watching the movie, he did a great job. Because it had the feel of a Star Wars movie, had the look of a Star Wars movie, and it held up for sure.
Okay. Jim, what are your thoughts on this?
I feel the same way Lauren just said. I thought Disney was going to butcher this, but when J.J. Abrams did Star Trek, I felt that if he can do Star Trek, he can resurrect Star Wars. And
yes.
I think, and I'm a big fan of JJ. I saw 5 seasons of Lost. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of AJ movies, and he's actually a very brilliant director. And I'm glad that The Force Awakens turned out the way it did. I think there was very nostalgic. There was a lot of great scenes from a lot of the other movies. Too bad the Ewoks didn't make it in there. It would have been nice, but my favorite. I love the Ewoks. They're just awesome, But now I have a new fun character. His name is BB-8. BB-8's my favorite. I got a solar charge. It's a charger for phones and all that. But I think that JJ was probably very nervous. I've read articles. He was very nervous about it, but I give him a thumbs up and an A++. They did a great job.
Yeah, it is difficult when you're stepping into a franchise like that, and the expectations are so high. But then again, he pulled it off before with the latest Star Trek incarnation, the movie-wise and stuff. So, and I've been a huge fan of Lost and some of his other works as well. So, okay, Tony, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, quite honest, I'm a huge Disney fan, and I had a lot of faith in Disney. They weren't going to spend $4 billion and screw it up. I would say that the approach they've taken is actually very clever. When they bought Marvel, they left the Marvel production team in place. They didn't bring them in house. The Marvel Studios is staying as Marvel Studios, and their production team has the whole Marvel cinematic universe under their control. And it looks like they've done the same thing with Lucasfilm. They have their fingers on it for sure. They take ownership of it, but they've got their executives who are responsible for the new expanded Star Wars universe, and I think that they're doing a good job with it. So I've also been a fan of the Star Wars Rebels that Disney did on XD, which was sort of the follow-up to the Clone Wars animated, and I'm very impressed with the work they've done on that. And bringing J.J. Abrams into it was a brilliant stroke. And even watching all the preview stuff on it, the more moved away from CGI to practical effects, I've been excited since it was announced. And I like the fact that, Disney is going to let this run its course. They're going to milk it for everything it's worth, but they know that this is the goose that's going to lay the golden egg, so they've got to make sure that it's done right. And I think seeing what they've done with The Force Awakens, it's definitely a salute to the old fans. It's going to draw a lot of new fans in, and I can't say enough positive things about the movie itself. But I wasn't as nervous about Disney as many others were. But I'm glad I was proven right, not the other way around.
Exactly. Well, I think all of us were kind of relieved there. Let me just throw an open question to you three. George Lucas, you think it was best that he turned over the reins at this point? Do you think really he was, I certainly respect him for the first 3 movies that he did, but the last 3 were, a bit of a letdown at best, controversial in some ways as well. How do you feel? Do you think it was good that he just relinquished complete control over it, or?
Oh, I think it's $4 billion good. I would just jump in there and say, I think when he had his original idea of Star Wars so many years ago and did such a great job with the first one, I think you have to look at how involved he was with episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 being my favorite, that he wasn't as directly involved in the story development as and the directing of it. So when he got back hands-on with the prequels, we saw what that happened. I think it was kind of him trying to relive the idea, and I think it was time to hand it off because I think he was kind of a little bit out of ideas, to be honest. It was going back and this ability to move forward in the future under some new direction, new vision. I think it's a good thing.
Okay. Anything you two want to add on that before we move on, or?
Well, the movie industry is definitely a universe in itself. I mean, I worked for 2 video stores. I had a chance to go to some conferences and all that, and a lot of decisions are made over a period of time of a movie. And I was a little disappointed in the middle 3 movies that they made, the sort of the prequels. And I think that it's not easy to make a movie, and even that time frame, there's so many other things going on. So. A lot of people say that they didn't like the prequels, but I think they came back and they fixed everything for this one here, and I think that they're on the right track now and go from there. So that's my feedback.
Okay.
I think a lot of people didn't like the prequels because they're always comparing them to episode 4, 5, and 6. If they could stand alone as their own trilogy without being compared, they would probably have a lot better reputation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's always the danger of when you start doing prequels and stuff, there is going to be a comparison to the original, and that kind of raises the bar, so to speak. It's
yeah.
That's the same with remakes of any type. I mean, there's some people that it wouldn't matter if they made the remake 20 times better than the original. They won't like it because it's a remake.
Well, since we're on this topic, look what happened to Fantastic Four. They went and rebooted Fantastic Four. It was a disaster. I'm only one person. I predicted as soon as I saw it, I heard about it. It was a disaster. So that happens. Even the Spider-Man movies, they made 2, 3 with Tobey Maguire. They made 2 with Garfield, which I think were great. And then now they went young. They went with a 19-year-old kid to do that. So that's going to happen in Hollywood. It's very hard sometimes to reboot something. The recent controversy with the new Rush Hour TV show. There's shots of all the thumbs down from the YouTube clip of the trailer. There's 46 thumbs ups and like 500 thumbs down. So they pulled it, and there was an article in the paper today about that. So, what people say is very important, and it was indicative of that situation I saw today.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Some of the fans have really enjoyed it. There are inevitably some critics, and some of the criticisms I've heard was that there wasn't really much originality in it. That it was kind of a remake or a rehash of episodes 4, 5, and 6, and to maybe to some extent the last 3 prequels. So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think anyone jump in at this point? So.
Well, I'll lead this. I think that we were talking about this earlier. When you got a movie like this and you got to bring back some characters to rehash, I think they did a great job. I really believe they did. They brought some new characters. They brought some old characters back. They infused some new blood. I think some of the lines were hilarious in this one here. I think that a few people said R2-D2 and C-3PO were not as much in the movie, and some other characters were. But I think there's a balance, and they had to find a way to make this not movie 5 hours long, but 2.5 hours long, that you can enjoy it. So I think they did the best job they could.
It's certainly not a new storyline. I mean, you see that story. It's basically the same story that was told in the middle 3 episodes, but they still did a good job. And as far as bringing the old characters in, I mean, a lot of people cheered in the audience. I'm not a person who cheers at a screen, but people cheered and clapped, and that's great if people like that. But they presented a familiar story with new twists and a little bit of new energy to it.
Yeah, I would agree. It was kind of what I would call a quasi reboot, but they managed to pull it off well. And sorry, Tony, did you want to add to this, or?
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, I thought I think if you were to actually do a comparison of Star Wars with The Force Awakens, Episode 4 with Episode 7, you have a lot of the same tropes throughout the whole movie. You know, we have a desert planet, we have the wizened advice that comes in, you have the search through the planet-destroying Death Star, and I get that. But I think it was, I enjoyed every minute of it, knowing that, because I thought it was respectful of the original, and it was a great way of introducing the new characters. And again, cheering when the old characters were on screen. And of course, my favorite scene with C-3PO. You may not have recognized me because of my red arm. I love that scene. I've seen his shirt out there. It's just got one red arm. It says, "You may not recognize me because of my red arm." I've got to get that shirt. I think it's brilliant. But I also say the Force Awakens had a modern take in terms of the nod to the audiences and the humor that was in it as well, right? That was kind of missing in the original.
Yeah.
I love the 3 new characters. I'm looking forward to seeing 4 new characters, because I'll bring Kylo Ren into that too. I'm looking forward to seeing their evolution over the next movies. And I think I don't know how you would have done it differently. It was such a great nod to the people who was fans of the original, and it was going to bring in new fans. I think it was done well, how it should have been done. With that said, I'm looking forward to the Blu-ray with some deleted scenes, because I think that's going to be cool too.
Yeah. Boy, as you say, Michael Bay used to say, money, 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 you know. And
Yeah.
so I have to throw that one in. But again, I mean, I went to the Disney store there before the movie started. My God, they're everything. During Halloween, during October, I went. It was crazy. They had lightsabers. They had everything out there. It was pure money-making machine. And it is what it is. Let them do it. You know, it's a movie. But I have to just touch on what Tony said. There were some humorous parts in this movie. I mean, I was on the 4th row watching it, and we're talking about my favorite character, BB-8. You know, he's turning, he's flipping, he's got his Spider-Man moves, the best thumbs up of the year. You know, he had, you know, and it was also the personal development. People are gonna love this. There are some scenes in this movie that they're gonna clip, especially Finn. Finney says, "Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this." You know, there was about 4 or 5 scenes in the movie where he was trying to convince himself that he could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to clip that and show this to people. See, even movies have personal development moments in it. So, but it was definitely funnier. I think that the semblance of the scenes moved on, especially near the end where it was building and building. Some of those fight scenes near the end, I was at the edge of my seat. Yeah. There were 7 of us. We were like knee to knee. We're like into it. I mean, leaning in. I was watching my role. We were leaning in. So there were some intense scenes, like some lightsaber scenes and some other character scenes that, again, I want to watch in the DVD when it comes out. I'm with you there, Tony. I'm going to get that DVD because I want to watch it on DVD and maybe have a party and watch it.
Commentary. Actually, you don't talk about cheering for your favorite characters. I got the most choked up when the Millennium Falcon appears. That was amazing.
Oh,
the way it was handled was
so hilarious.
Then when
Taka
finally appear.
That's right.
The garbage thing, the garbage. I was like, that was the best line. But there were scenes. I mean, that's why I think this movie every scene flowed. I mean, I just think the energy. I don't know if that's the other 3 gentlemen. You felt the energy was growing as the movie, because I felt we finally got to the end of the movie, and I don't well, spoilers here, but when Rey was in her bottle, I mean, just seeing that the close up of her face and it was growing for me. I don't know how everybody else felt, but I felt the energy growing as the movie was progressing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic movie, right? When you're on the edge, as you said, on the edge of your seat, right up to the end.
I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, I don't know about anybody else. I was like,
I said to you guys earlier, I've seen it twice. I was on the edge of my seat the second time, even knowing what was going to happen. I was following it through. So, and I actually did enjoy it the second time through, because I felt an opportunity to sort of take a larger look at the screen, what was going on beyond the action, because there's so much attention to detail in these movies that you miss so many things going through.
Yeah, that's what I found. Yeah, they throw everything at you so quickly in these things. You have to go back a second time just to catch the stuff the first time. So
all the Easter eggs. All the Easter eggs.
Well, I mean, there was so much spoilers. I mean, there was Simon Pegg playing the junkyard guy there. There was Daniel Craig playing the stormtrooper there in the scene with Rey there. that was in. But I mean, I couldn't tell it was him. I listened to it very carefully. I knew what was happening, but there was some cool scenes that even those actors probably excited to play.
Guys, sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you. You can see it.
And I knocked out my internet.
Go ahead, Justin.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to talk about were kind of more on the technical issue, like in terms of special effects. Now, I've noticed that the other day the movie got a nomination from the Academy Awards for Best Special Effects, very deservedly so, I might add. Now, I noticed Lauren and I, when we went to see it, we had the option of, or we opted to see it in 3D. I don't know about you two, but let's talk about that. I mean, did 3D really add anything to it or make it stand out?
I didn't like it.
Well, I watched it in 3D. I was on the fourth row, and there's a scene where the enemy ship shows up, and I thought that thing was going to go up my nostril. Like the tip of the ship was going to go up my nostril so close. So like, okay, all right. But, I mean, I tell you, I saw Avatar in 3D, and, years ago. I'm not such a big fan of 3D, to tell you the truth. I don't know why. I know it sounds anti, but I don't know. It's a little overwhelming, especially when you're sitting really close to the screen, as I was in the fourth row. So I'm sorry, sixth row, whatever it was. So
I just didn't find the 3D particularly well done. I found there was too many scenes that either the background or the foreground was out of focus, and usually with 3D, it's pretty good. You can see the whole point is that the foreground and the background are equally in focus. So you can really see that contrast and that whatever's happening in the main, action is standing out. But I found that a lot of times that was lost because of the just not being in focus a lot.
Okay.
I can't comment on 3D. I didn't see it in 3D. But in general terms, I don't like seeing live action movies in 3D. I prefer seeing the animated features because they're kind of designed a little bit, rendered a little bit differently than the 3D process for live actions. And I agree with Lauren. I find the 3D live actions I've seen, I find you're missing a lot of the stuff that you don't see when it's not in 3D. And that ability to sort of take your focus off what they're trying to force it on through 3D and see a little bit more of the expanded background. With that said, I'm sure I will go see it in 3D, but only because I want to see the starship come out my nose. But
it was like, wow.
But generally, I am not I'm not a fan of live action 3D. I prefer the animated ones. But I don't get dizzy or anything like that. I don't feel I miss out on stuff. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah,
because I've had some. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, talk about being animated. The best 3D movie I've ever seen was A Christmas Carol, which is with Jim Carrey. That was animated, and that's probably the best job of 3D I've seen, honestly.
Yeah, from a 3D point of view, great. Not the movie you want to take the young kids think it's going to be a fun Christmas story. I'll just tell you that now.
Okay, I haven't seen Jim Carrey's version yet, so I'll just take your word for it. But I find it really depends on the kind of movie. Like when I saw Avatar a few years back, I saw that in 3D. Now, I found that really made the movie. I thought that the 3D effects actually enhanced the movie and what was otherwise really not that great of a movie plot-wise. I thought it was kind of a rehash of Star Wars and Dances with Wolves, basically. But
Pocahontas.
Or Pocahontas. No, that's a good point.
Hey, Pocahontas was a good movie, all right? Leave that one out. Okay? Leave that one out. Don't pick up Pocahontas.
Well, that's not the movie. I'm just saying Avatar kind of tells that story.
But I would argue that Avatar was an animated movie. Right, with the CGI and special effects to the most part. I would argue that and that's why the 3D did work so well. Again, I
agree.
Yeah, because a lot of it was definitely CGI'd. Yeah, so it's.
Well, we'll see what happens with 2 and we'll have to see what happens with 2 and 3 there. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those as well.
Interesting movie landscape now. We'll see. Yeah. Next question on the board.
Okay. Glad to see you're moderating the moderator here, Jim. Okay.
We're doing well. We're doing well here. We're doing well.
Yeah, we're covering a lot, and that's great. Next one. Okay, controversial moments in the movie. The most controversial one, and I'll again give you another spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this now, fail. Okay.
Okay.
The death of Han Solo. Was this really a necessity, or had the character run its course?
Wow. Ooh, you're pulling out the tough questions. I'm going to touch this one till last.
Let me, if you don't mind me starting, Lauren, I'm going to...
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
I'm going to look this through the lenses. Like, Han Solo is like a god to me, and Harrison Ford is like a god to me. I love every movie he's done, including Regarding Henry.
It's a good movie. It
was a good movie, yeah.
So what I'm going to say to you is the man is 72 years of age, and God love him, he is 72 years of age. 2 years from now for the next movie, 2 years from that for the next movie, something he had to give, right? Like, we can't have a 78-year-old Han Solo in a Zimmer frame walking around trying to blast things out. So I'm not happy he's dead. Believe me when I say I'm not happy at all. I am content with how they dealt with it. And I think it added to the story structure in a way. It wasn't gratuitous. I think it was an excellent way that it came about, and I think it's going to advance the character development of our villain in a way that perhaps you weren't going to see otherwise unless he had taken that step. So I will say, going to miss him. Not happy he's dead, but I'm okay with the way it happened.
Yeah, it served a purpose rather than just, let's get rid of him. He's not going to be in the other two movies anyway.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, movies are an interesting aspect, and they killed him. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you're gonna see him again. You're gonna see him again somehow. I believe you are.
How flashback or as a Force?
A flashback or something, or the Force. I think you're gonna see him again. And I'm gonna go both movies. I'm gonna go 8 and 9. You're gonna see him.
I think Jim is an optimist and a Han Solo fanboy. That's what I'm gonna say right now.
Well, let's do a virtual handshake right here. There,
we're doing this 2 years from now. On the next one, we'll already know, and we'll say
Yeah. But movie. I mean, in movies, people do die in movies, and I think that Ford was really cranky. I hear, he was on Jimmy Kimmel and all that. He seems he's getting crankier the last 4 or 5 years. He had the plane accident, if you remember. He had an accident on the film, so he didn't have a really great year as far as his body. Yeah. So he had some issues last year. And maybe Calista Flockhart said, "Okay, honey, that's it. Put the reins on. Who knows? We made a decision."
Well, but you know what? It hasn't been a good year for 70-odd-year-old actors and celebrities. Right out of the gate, we've lost 3 out of the gate. So
may they rest in peace.
Absolutely. So who knows where we end up with them? But no, I was as I said, I don't want him to be gone, but I like the way it happened.
Yeah, it was very intense. It was a very intense scene. I have to admit to you, it was very intense. And I didn't like. I'll get a little crazy on here. I didn't like Kylo Ren's character at all.
Really?
I didn't like him. I didn't like him. No, I think they chose the wrong guy.
Yeah, that actually builds into the next question I was going to ask. But no.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Okay. Lauren, what are your thoughts on Han?
On Han Solo? Death?
Yeah.
Just what I said. It served a purpose, and. Like Tony said, it wasn't gratuitous or anything. It wasn't just for shock value. It served a purpose, and that's basically it. I said what I had before.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to say speak and stuff. Okay. My own thoughts were, it was sad that he went, but at the same time, I think the character kind of run his course. I mean, unless, of course, you wanted to change the direction of the movie and maybe have him tag team with Leia to try to reconvert Kylo and stuff. But, and also it's interesting to note that Harrison Ford had been lobbying as far back as The Empire Strikes Back to kill Han. So, I mean, I'm not really surprised. He also suggested, rather forcefully, that they kill him off in Return of the Jedi, but they wouldn't listen to him there. So, I mean, I'm not really that surprised that they killed him. He probably had a fair bit of influence behind the scenes in terms of that. So. So,
even Leia, they were saying they wanted her to lose weight. for the movie there.
What did you guys think of that? I mean, did you think there was a bit of a double standard? Like it was okay for
No.
Really given any thought at all.
It's Hollywood. Hollywood does this. They always ask Astor to gain weight, lose weight. It's a common theme. I've heard it all the time. So it was just her to say something. She was trying to be funny in some of the shows, but.
Yeah, even though she was just playing a supporting role and stuff. I mean, and she wasn't really involved in that too much of the action.
I'm not going to comment on this.
Okay. This show, that guy's show.
Okay. All right. Next question, Kylo Ren. How does he square in terms of his grandfather, in terms of him being the new villain? What are your thoughts on him?
I'll start this hazardous discussion right now, so I'm gonna get torched here by the end, I bet. But I tell you, when he had the thing on, when he had the helmet on, he seemed very villainous. It seemed like he was, don't mess with this guy. But as soon as he took it off, he became more human. And then near the end, I think that humanization began to evolve. And then when he killed Han, when he did it, I was like, it caught me by surprise too. I was like, whoa, I thought you were Mr. Human. So it kind of, surprised me a little bit when he did that. But I don't know, I just seen that when he had it on, he was very that villain. Like everybody's making fun when he destroys when he went crazy when Rey escapes and he destroys the chair. His anger, he seemed very angry at the time, but they didn't show it. They just kind of, you heard it. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. The character wasn't, I don't know. Maybe they.
Looks like we lost Tony.
Yeah, we lost Tony. Yeah, so I don't know. I had mixed feelings about him, but go ahead, Lauren.
Well, it was like you when he had the mask on. He was very ominous, and scary looking and scary sounding. But as soon as he took it off, he looked like a scared kid.
Yeah. That's it. Like a scared kid. That's it.
So
okay, I just got a text from Tony. He says he'll be back. So
yeah, I would say Lauren, great comment. He was like a scared kid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, he is a kid. He's actually an adolescent because I was reading on IMDb. They asked the actor who's portraying him to actually shave his beard off in real life because they want him to look 17 to 18, and the actor is in fact in his 30s, but he looked younger with it. So yeah, you're dealing with an adolescent.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I did not know. So that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because it'd be a different stage, like in his development, and his maturity, and his whole outlook on life. And
yeah, because when they said because at the end they said bring me back and to continue his training. Whatever the evil guy's name, I don't know what his name is. I looked on the internet today. He says bring me back Vader, so I continue finish off his training. It's at the end of the movie, so that was an interesting line. So he's not done with him yet.
Yeah. Now the evil guy, there's been some speculation. I think that he's actually a Force ghost of Palpatine. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that open. I mean, feel free to agree or disagree. I have no idea. It's just speculate. I think it's just speculation myself. But
and you're talking about the that was on the big screen they were all reporting to.
Yeah, Andy Sechrist. Yeah, Gollum.
Yeah, I think he's Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Oh boy, here we go. Rest in peace, Alan Rickman. Rest in peace, Alan Rickman.
Yeah, he was the best Star Wars cast member we never had, unfortunately.
Yeah,
he would have been any role in any of the movies there, but.
Oh man, he was awesome. I mean, that Die Hard role, he was freaking very good.
Loved
even the
Galaxy
Harry
Quest. He was great in that.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That's right. Yes, he was. Very, very good in that.
Yeah. Oh, gee.
We lost.
Well, he texted me. He said he was going to be back. So
Tony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll soldier on as best we can. And
all right, go ahead. Yeah, we're beta here, but keep going.
Okay. So we've covered the death of Han Solo. We've covered Kylo Ren. How did you guys feel about Luke's kind of very minimal involvement in this? I mean, I was personally, I was a bit disappointed. I was expecting to see more of him, and instead they just waited until the end. He didn't even have any dialogue, the poor guy.
And the look on his face.
Go ahead, Lauren.
The look on his face. Well, it was the ultimate payoff at the end of the movie. You're kind of yes, he had a minimal role, but at the same time, it made sense to end it that way because the whole point was they're looking for Luke Skywalker, and now he can be central to the next movie because they found him. They've gotten that out of the way. They've given his, kind of covered what would happen from, Return of the Jedi to the beginning of the Force Awakens. So, and we'll see if Rey is his daughter or not. Eventually,
I think question. Yeah, I have a feeling he's the daddy.
Well, I think that it was like, "Where's Waldo?" And my friend said, "Yeah, it's like, where's Waldo? Where's Luke?" But him not saying anything, that bothered me. He should have said something.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. Just look at her. But then, if that's his daughter, which I think it is, then it makes sense that there's only one a Jedi can give the thing to only another Jedi. I figured that, so I saw that as a melodramatic moment, and I thought that was bang. It was melodramatic. Only another Jedi can give the lightsaber to another Jedi. I felt that there was some semblance.
Lightsaber and Jedi's. Finn, he used the lightsaber.
He did. That's right.
He's going to be a Jedi, or he is a Jedi.
I think so. It's a good question, Lauren.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think Lauren. I mean, that's a good question, Lauren. Finn is a very interesting character. He impressed me as the movie went on. I was a little surprised in the beginning with him, but as he moved on, he got stronger. I think he got into the role. Like I got 6 months of acting, but I think he got into that role. He really began to take over the role in that fight scene with the lightsaber. It was in the middle of the movie there. Man alive, he came and busted ass. So he may have. There might be some Jedi training for him coming up. I really see they said the second one's going to be a little darker. So maybe I see maybe him being a little part, and I hope. We see those characters grow,
and you can't discount it because he was a stormtrooper. Because they're, like they said, they take them right from birth. They're brainwashed, and they're trained just to obey and not question orders. And
he wasn't. He was fighting it. He was fighting it. So he's back. Tony Quirk is back.
Yep.
So Tony Quirk, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting statement. I didn't think about that, Lauren. So. There's the big question of the hour there. So, So Tony, you're back. We can't hear him.
We can't hear you, man.
I think he must be doing it from an iPad. I think he's doing it from an iPad.
He had to reset. Yeah.
Will it work on an iPad?
He's doing it from an iPad. Yeah, it should. Yeah.
So I had to install Chrome to get it to work.
He's fooling around with it. I don't know if you can see me. No, he's talking. No.
Can't hear you. Mm-mm.
No. So he left. So yeah, but again, a lot in movies, it's you see characters evolve and throughout the movie. So I mean, there was a lot of time spent between him and Rey. Were talking a lot there, and their characters kind of mingled very early in the movie. It's going to be interesting. I think number 2 is going to be a very interesting movie. The middle movies are always interesting. In every trilogy, mark my words, the middle movies are always the pinnacle area where the movie's going to go.
Yeah, that seems to be. Yeah, they when you're dealing with trilogies, it's the middle one seems to defy the rule normally that sequels bomb. Because there have been exceptions.
Yeah,
like Star Wars with the Empire Strikes Back. That was the one. Even non-sci-fi like the Godfather trilogy. The second one was the best out of all of them, and there are a few other examples. It doesn't happen very often.
Aliens too. Like Alien was good, Aliens 2 is the best. I mean, for me, it's the best movie ever made. I mean, I just saw a 3-hour documentary on the movie 3 months ago. I mean, the stuff they did to get that movie done. So for me, middle movies always are the temperance of how a movie's going to go.
Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, okay, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Sorry, I could hear you fine.
He's back.
Yeah, we're just.
For that.
Yeah,
My computer decided to reboot right in the middle of our chat, so no matter how many times you said delay, it said, no, I'm doing it now, and screw you.
Yeah, we appreciate your dedication. We missed you.
Yeah, thanks.
No,
to answer your question, I'm not on an iPad, but I'm using my iPad earphones. That's why.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Rey. How do you think she squared up as the heroine for the movie? You know, and I also noticed that they're putting a strong emphasis on having a female lead in this one.
Well, let Tony go first because he missed.
Yeah,
he missed
and I apologize. I probably missed that's probably the whole discussion. I'm sure.
Go ahead.
I loved the character of Rey. I thought she was a strong female lead, which was important. In my opinion, she was not the damsel in distress. In fact, a couple things were pointed out afterwards. You know, the times that Finn would go to grab her hand to lead her somewhere, and she's like, "Let go of my hand, let go," and stop doing that. Like I thought that was a clever a way to approach that. But you also think, depending on how she got to Jakku and her life up into the point where she's discovered the BB-8, she's obviously knows how to take care of herself. She's trained in piloting. She's trained in repair. She's trained in scavenging. She's a fighter. I think she's a great character, and I mean I have my own theories about what her final outcome is going to be, but I think this is going to be her story more than anyone else's. I think in the whole trilogy going forward. And I'm looking forward to finding it all out, whether I'm right or wrong. I think it's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Hollywood now with Mad Max, the new one here, where they had the female lead and she's up for an award. I forgot her name. My apologies. But Charlize Theron. And Charlize Theron, let me tell you, she's like another Will Smith and Harrison Ford. She's done all sorts of movies from left to right. Wide range, and so I think Rey is definitely going to be an interesting part of the movie moving forward. I don't know that much. I've read on in the books, but I think that she can handle herself, and I think that was a good thing to show that women can handle themselves. I'm blessed to be around a lot of alpha females. So let me tell you, it's an interesting thing to be around sometimes. It has its moments. Like, literally the last few days I've had some interesting discussions with some alpha females. But I think that as a character, I think she's going to grow. And I think between her and Finn, their relationship is going to be interesting. I'm curious where their relationship goes. I'm very, very curious. If does it blossom? Is it just friendship? Where does it go? I think there's some interesting dynamics there.
But I think that'll be secondary to the whole evolution of the characters. Personally, I think that'll if that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I don't think it's going to take away from the evolution of the whole story. I think it's a fun sort of again, that initial part when they first meet. I thought that was fantastic. But it was again, the spoilers alert, when they're fixing the gas leak in the Millennium Falcon when they first meet, and she's asking for the tool, and she's like, no, look at what I'm pointing to. That scene sort of sets up the whole direction of it on a go forward basis.
Yeah, which was fighting the guys in the beginning before they met, and he was watching her, kicking everybody's ass, and like, she doesn't need my help, So I think it's a good thing to see, and I think Hollywood has to let that female thing go. I mean, in Aliens 2, Sigourney Weaver took over the female persona, and I think that the movies now with Joy that came out, Carol that came out, a lot of female-driven roles, and I'm glad Hollywood has to let the females take over eventually. I mean, there's more females than males on Earth, anyways. So let them do some movies. There's some fantastic females out there who can.
That's what I like about the whole genre of science fiction, because in science fiction, you can have various kinds of heroes. You can have male heroes, you can have female heroes. You can create female roles that can actually take the lead, like Rey did, or like Ripley did in Aliens and stuff. I mean,
even the character in Prometheus. Even the woman in Prometheus, which I didn't like Prometheus, but the woman in Prometheus, the sort of the big character there, she made the movie. There was some, like, if it was because of her, it would have been more brutal. She saved that movie.
That was?
Yeah, the woman in Prometheus. Yeah. She had one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen in my life in a movie. I mean, I don't care. I mean, she had to cut herself up to take out an alien, for heaven's sakes. I mean, who's done that? I mean, it was, I don't. So I think that Hollywood has to allow that, and even the big diversity situation now, where all the movie characters are white again, big problem. They have to. I've served as a diversity council for FedEx for 4 years, for heaven's sakes. There has to be more diversity. I think that the media plays a big part, but I'm making a big deal of it. There has to be some more diversity. They just have to do it. I mean, there's just no excuse.
But I agree with Justin. Like, science fiction's always taken the lead in a lot of this stuff with bringing female characters forward, because I think a lot of the science fiction guys are futurists in their own mind. They weren't sexist initially. So you have a lot of great, strong, within sci-fi and fantasy, strong female characters. Not always written really well, not always written very broadly, but definitely the first movies that really emphasize going all the way back to Metropolis. The strong female lead, is from a sci-fi movie, right? So I agree with you. I don't like to say diversity for diversity's sake, but I think there has to be a recognition that, especially again this year's Oscar nominations, right? All white actors. I have to say they're some of the best films I've seen. I feel Morgan Freeman should just get a nomination for everything he's in anyway, just as a matter of course. But there's such a
I think that's a shame. I think that's a shame. I think there's a lot of. I agree, Morgan Freeman. There's a lot of other actresses there that do phenomenal in various movies. There's a lot of movies that come out every year, ladies and gentlemen. You can't tell me that those are the best 60. Come on.
Okay. Well, we're getting near the end here, so let's wrap up. I just want to ask all of you quickly, what are your expectations or predictions for the next movie? We'll start with Lauren.
We're not done with. Hopefully, we're going to see more with Finn and Poe.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that relationship develop. Hard to say. I don't know. I haven't really thought about what I'm expecting. I'm still just kind of reeling back from the first one. I try not to speculate too much about what's coming and what's coming. It's going to be good. I hope this is good. They can live up to the first one.
Okay. Okay, so you're just sitting on the fence on this one. That's
fine. I don't really have a lot to say with speculation.
Okay. Jim, quickly, what are your thoughts? Predictions?
Well, I want to see more. I want to see more of BB-8. I want to see BB-8 turning, flipping, got the Spider-Man things out.
Yeah, he stole the show.
I just look for. Yeah, he stole the show. I just want to see more of the characters evolving. Delve more into the story. I haven't heard any of the books that have come out over the years. So just the story, and I hope that that people can just pipe down and don't spoil the movie. Let the people watch it. That's hard, but I think that they got some good stuff. And the Rogue story, Rogue One Star Wars stories coming out this year in December as a little teaser for us. But just the story evolved, the characters evolved, and I think that now that JJ has a good handle of the first one, I think the second will be a thumbs up, and people will be lined up to see it as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, Tony, quickly, your thoughts.
Very briefly, I'm looking forward to finding out more about Snoke. I want to see what the evil side has going for it. I am looking forward to seeing Luke Skywalker actually say something. That will be a positive development as far as I'm concerned. But I really just want to see more of these characters. I'd like to see more about Poe. He's supposed to be the best pilot in the Resistance. I'd like to hear a little bit more of his story. So it's going to be interesting how they carry things on from there. There was one comment that someone made, is that the ending of Force Awakens was sort of tailor-made, in my opinion, for a continuation from that point forward. But none of the Star Wars movies have done that. There's always been a time bump in between them, right? So it doesn't follow right from the moment it left off to the moment it continues. So I'm not sure how they're going to address that unless they do some flashbacks and that. So I'd be interested to see what the scroll reads in episode 8 as it goes across the screen.
All right. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end. I think this was an awesome talk, and I want to thank all three of you, Lauren, Jim, and Tony. I realized we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but thanks for your patience and everything.
It's all right.
I just want to end up. I just want to end up on this note. There is a website, how many days until Star Wars, and I don't know if you. 400
can you type the link? What's the link for the website?
So that's.
Okay, yeah. You mind just typing that in for everyone?
Are you serious? That is awesome.
Oh, that is.
Oh my God, that is insane. That's a good way.
Okay. Well, we will definitely get you guys back for the panel on episode 8 when we do that. But I want to thank all of you again.
All right.
And I'm looking forward to having you again as panelists and other discussions on other topics in sci-fi as this show progresses. So, but again, thank you.
Well, thank you for. Thanks. It was good to be a guest. May the force be with everyone here tonight.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Okay. Take care, guys.
It's this now.
Good night.
Night.